You heard about reversing the tides? It is a project to restore life and diversity at Haringvliet Dam. Back in 1953, the Netherlands had one of the worst floods in history. After this, the Haringvliet Dam was constructed for flood protection, water management, and power generation. This had consequences on the hydrodynamics, geomorphology, and ecology of the original existing estuary. The closure of the dam decreased the influx of seawater, causing sedimentation and closed fish migration routes. Therefore, the Kierbesluit came into action in 2018, meaning ajar open sluice gates at high tide. By restoring the natural flow and ecology, the Kierbesluit sought to rejuvenate the ecosystem, stimulate fish migration, and restore the natural balance between fresh and salt water. The problem we are facing here today is the loss of estuarine characteristics that result in a change of natural dynamics and biodiversity. And therefore we aim to understand the changes in the hydrodynamics, geomorphology, and ecology of the Haringvliet following the reintroduction of the tidal influx. So let's have a look at the situation before 2018, and we start with the hydrodynamics. Since the 1970s, the previously salt and brackish water estuary was transformed into a freshwater lake by only opening the sluices at low tide to allow for the discharge of river water to the sea. Let's look at the geomorphology. There's a buildup of sand outside the dam called the hinderplaat, and the one-sided flow of the water also decreased the sand supply inside the Haringvliet, and this has led to an increase in siltation with mud, making it harder for any animals to settle. So this is affecting the local ecology. Benthic and migratory fish species such as the eel, sturgeon and salmon decline significantly due to the disrupted living conditions and closed migration routes. Many bird species were also negatively affected by the impact on their foraging grounds. But then, with the introduction of the Kierbesluit, the sluices were opened ajar and salt water is let back in at high tide. So let's have a look at the situation after 2018. So now there's barely any mixing of salt and fresh water. The sharp transition is also known as salt wedge, and therefore there's only a minor hydrological change. Until now, there is no noticeable change in the geomorphology. Natural processes such as sedimentation and erosion occur gradually. So we hope to see bigger changes in the future. The tides could lead to a redistribution of sediment behind the dam, which can cause the formation of new sandbanks, wetlands, marshes, and mudflats, allowing for settlement of more species. Ecologically, there are some species already benefiting from the ajar opening. Widening sluice openings can facilitate more habitats for benthic species, brackish-tolerant organisms, migratory fish species, and even birds. As we see little progress, we formulated some recommendations. First, we advise a holistic approach. The socioeconomic trade-offs must be identified and measured to obtain a holistic understanding of restoration impact and could open more possibilities. We also recognize that monitoring the Kierbesluit's hydrodynamics, geomorphology, and ecology developments are crucial to assess changes and especially success. This includes monitoring and evaluating sediment transportation, fish migration, and other upstream effects important for spawning. Based on this, biodiversity and ecosystem assessments can be performed following guidelines provided by the Society of Ecological Restoration and additional health and functional indices. However, it is too early to make definite judgments due to insufficient data. Our last advice is to open the sluices more. To promote greater changes and achieve a gradual salinity gradient, it is recommended to open the sluices wider. This would facilitate the return of more species and promote habitat development. The current level of the Kier scenario is unlikely to result in desired ecological changes in the near future. So there is room for improvement. So let's reverse the tides together. Thank you for watching. Stay wavy and do not forget to like and subscribe.